NC State's got a really good basketball team. I think Kevin's done an unbelievable job with his team this year. They're going to be make some noise in the AC tournament and in the NCAA tournament. They definitely have a tournament team that can go win games. I think they're very athletic. Their guards are really quick. They can really move with their feet. They're physical. I thought they kind of wore us down as the game, after both teams stopped playing horse out there, and it became a basketball game. Really impressed with the way Joyner moves his feet. I know he can score. He was the best player on the court, but I'm really impressed with the way he moves his feet defensively. Morcell's just steady, and Smith's a great player off the bounce. Thought we did a really poor job handling the ball for a team that, again, has been our hardest against Miami. I got to give NC State credit for that some, but some of those are just atomic bomb things that we can't do. We don't get enough shots when we turn the ball over like that, because we don't turn people over a lot, so it puts us in a tough situation. So I thought that hurts. I thought the biggest play in the game for us was when we cut it to 8. Ty made 3 free throws coming out of the 8-minute media, and we cut it to 8, went down, turned them over. We had a play called in the huddle for him to slip to the basket. He did. He caught it, and he fell down, traveled, slipped, but didn't score. And then they went down, and we didn't guard the best player on the court in defensive transition, and he made a 3, Jarkel Joyner. And that was a ball game to me. I thought we had a good chance. We're still fighting. Team's got a lot of fight, but Burns played a good game. He's a hard guy to guard. I thought we did a better job guarding this game, obviously, than we did last game. And when we did trap him or double him, when we did get the baseline cut off, we did a good job. When we didn't, we didn't, and that's the responsibility of the 5 every time. So, again, congrats to Kevin and his team, and I think they're going to be really, really good here in postseason play.
Questions for Andrew?
Andrew, how did it affect y'all when Damari went down at the end of the first half?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a swing. We had the possession as it was running into half, and we were going to get the ball coming out of half as well, trying to look to score 2 times in a row there. And, unfortunate, he injures his knee, falls down, and they get a dunk on the other end. So I think that, definitely was tough going into half.
Andrew, when you described that first half, the coach just said you guys were playing horse or whatever. That was a fast-paced first 20 minutes. What were you seeing from your perspective out there on the court?
Yeah, definitely. I think credit to them. They're hitting shots as well, and we did our offense has proven time and time again that we've been able to, when we get shots on the rim, we're able to put up a lot of points. And I think especially in the first half, a lot of things were rolling for us. But when you give up 52 points in a half, it's not the recipe for success. And so we knew going into halftime we were going to have to try and get some stops, and we weren't able to do that well enough in the second half to win the game.
Andrew, what do you believe the root of the problem is with the turnovers?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think teams are trying to come up, we obviously run a lot of ball screens for Tyree, and he's able to kind of pick apart defenses, but teams are trying to face guard him and double him, and I think that sometimes will send us for a loop on offense, but also just simply not going back to our fundamentals, even just not playing off of 2 feet and launching, we're going to the basket, jumping on passes and things like that led to a lot of live ball turnovers and leak outs to dunks for them.
Andrew, you got a couple chances late in the game. What's it like to try to defend DJ Burns down low? What's that like?
Yeah, he's definitely a load down there. He's a big guy, and going into the game, so our game plan was to try and not let him catch it, push him off as far as possible, and I knew I just had to try and use my agility and try and get in front of him and make it hard for him to even catch the ball. I think that was pretty effective close to the end of the game. Zach did a great job of that as well. That was kind of what we were looking for. So, he's tough down there.
Andrew, in the wake of the 2 back-to-back quad 1 losses, against ranked teams, and kind of gutting losses, how do you respond as a team in these final 3 games, and adding just how critical the ACC tournament is, preparing for that as a group?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's crunch time now. I think that, that's what we got to do at this point. Go back to practice, and a lot of it is going to be mental, and I think we defensively struggle with that sometimes, and I think that's something that we're gonna have to grow on into the AC tournament. We're trying to string a couple of wins together here and get a shot at the ACC tournament, try and get to the NCAA tournament.
Going back to the turnovers for a second, that was not a problem for a long period of time. So how frustrating is it that in these 2 games that mean so much, it's cropped up at the worst time?
Yeah, it sucks. I think you want to try and play your best basketball in the biggest games, and it definitely is a little frustrating. I think we're a really good team, and we've had a lot of close, tough, losses this year that I think we're better than our record shows in the ACC, and there's a lot of tough teams in here, it just really stings. You try to put your best foot forward there, the hardest games, and you fall a little bit short. So.
Anything else for Andrew? All right. Questions for Coach?
Steve, what happened to Tyree and how is he?
Oh, he just had cramps. Yeah, he gives his best, and he just cramped up. I tried to get him out a couple times there, but we just can't score when he's not out there, and so he cramped up. He's fine.
What do you know about tomorrow?
He'll have an MRI tomorrow. That's all I really know. Doesn't look good, but you never know until you do those kind of things. You give him a night, sleep on it, but hopefully it'll work out okay for him after, having last year tearing his Achilles. You'd hate to see something, happen to him like that.
Kind of along the same lines, I asked Andrew, how did you see that affect your team?
I don't know. I'm sure, it's their teammate. They care about him, and he's a popular dude on the team, but you still got to come out and play, man. And I thought it was really important how we started the second half, and I think Ty came out immediately, scored, and then they come down, they might have scored, and we turn it over, and it doesn't need to be turned over. They're trying to do things you can't do. We're a really good team when we share the ball, and we play under control, and we don't get sped up. And that was the thing about early in the game. It was elevated. There's a great crowd. They're elevated, and I thought we played really at a great pace on offense to start the game. Obviously we made shots, but we also did it at our pace. They weren't speeding us up. And then it got frantic there, and when they speed us up, we turned it over, and so that leads to those atomic bombs, and we had 4 of those in the first half. And then defensive transition, get your ass back. If you're not going to offensive rebound, we got 4, we had 2 in the first half, then get back. I'm not happy about that. And it's a combination of several people.
Coach, what were the differences in the game plan today in defending DJ Burns?
Well, I think the first thing was trying to make him, make it a lot harder for him to catch it, which, I don't think I've played against too many post players that post up way outside the 3-point line. I've been coaching a long time. I played against some lottery bigs. I've never seen that. And so that was the first thing. And then be physical. We didn't go to the monster or the double team to start the game, but obviously he had his way there early. So we went to it, and I thought it slowed him down a little bit. But then again, it takes our bigs have to keep him from going baseline. That's their only responsibility in that. And a couple times they didn't do it. Now, he made a couple tough shots too. He threw in a couple sky hooks there. It was like, okay, or Bill Russell, I guess you'd say, one of them type of deals. But he's a good player. He's a really good player. He's got great touch. I think he's the best scoring big in the league, and he enjoys passing. And that's the problem, right? If you go down there and do it, leave somebody open. Now, I'd have to go back and look. I think they made a couple, but I thought we did a much better job on him this game than we did last.
Steve, you mentioned Jarkel Joyner on offense, obviously, but you also mentioned his defense. It seems maybe he doesn't get the credit that he deserves because he scores so much as not only an on-the-ball defender, but like a 60, 70-foot defender.
I noticed that more than anything, Luke, than the buckets, is his intensity defensively and his stance and his base and the way he moves his feet. And they let us play. It's not to our advantage. You know, we didn't get to the line 10 times. Ty goes sometimes 10 times himself. So, but you got to adjust to it. And I think he's really good at that. Casey's really good at that. They got base. And they're strong, you know. And this is one of the advantages of, again, recruiting portal players from good programs, from good coaches. Kermit Davis could coach basketball, and Tony Bennett could coach basketball. So they had a good bait, more than any high school player is going to have coming in here, or my program. And so they're high major transfers to a high major program that can play. Credit to Kevin, coach, for getting those two guys. And then DJ, you know, it's kind of like Jake was for us, you know. But DJ started at a high major program too, Tennessee. So I think I love Joyner's mentality, his toughness. He's an all-league guard, and he might be one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Steve, you're on pace for another 20-win season, another winning season in ACC play, but it doesn't look like you're going to get a quad one this year.
Why not? I mean, Duke didn't count. Did they lose? Because we got a quad one for Duke. Did we have a quad one for Duke today? Then we get one. If we get one for Wisconsin, I mean, I got a couple quad one wins, like, because the quad one is so stupid that we're sitting here, Duke at 32 or something, and Wisconsin at 78. Well, go win at Wisconsin. Good luck. All right, you're right. I mean, we haven't won the right games to get in the tournament. That's what you're asking me, and I don't disagree with that one iota. But I'll say this again, and I said it to my man Joe back there yesterday. I don't believe in a metric where you win and you go down 6 and the team that you beat goes up more than you do. How is that possible? And I'm not saying that we deserve to be in the tournament. I'm not, because we don't. But that's a bad metric. And my livelihood depends on it, and so does Kevin's. And we can't even explain it.
Yep, so what's the solution to that?
I don't get paid for that. I get paid to coach to win by 1, not the spread.
Hey, Steve, I wanted to go back to DJ real quick. I was just curious, how were you deciding on whether, to send a double team down or to leave them in single coverage?
Flipping a coin. Yes, where to go? No. It's like, I don't know. It's like you got to mix up your coverages, right? Kind of football, baseball, mix up your pitches. I'll be honest, the whole second half we went when he was in the game. Obviously, we didn't do it when he wasn't. We didn't start out that way. We tried to make him guess a little bit. But then the whole second half, it was, we're going. And, he made some plays and some he didn't.
Coach, what's your assessment? A lot this week, from the media standpoint, has been a lot of media tabloids bashing the power conference of the ACC, just saying the ACC is weak this year. What's your opinion on just hearing the outside noise and just, if you were able to speak to us, how do you feel the power of the conference at ACC?
I mean, I don't listen to that, but I've been asked that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing as last year. I mean, again, sometimes it's perception. Like, people aren't used to seeing Pitt, NC State. I shouldn't say that. NC State's won 2 national championships, for God's sakes. But Pitt, who else is up here, fellas, in the league? Miami, Clemson, Wade, whatever.
Yep.
I think that explains a lot to you right there. It's not the 2 down the road. So that's how our identity, in my opinion, is created, and rightfully so. Those are 2 great programs, right? I think that's some of it. Some of it is maybe we didn't win enough games in November again. I don't know. You guys can tell me that. I felt like we did the best we could do. Again, how can you make that judgment until we get in the tournament? Again, last year we had 3 teams in the Elite 8 and 2 in the Final Four, 1 played for the national championship. So I don't know if you can really make that judgment. It's just somebody's got to talk about something, Okay, so that's what it is. Maybe we need to do a better job of talking about our league as coaches. I think we should all be supporting each other. I'm so happy for Kevin. Man, he turned the state. He had a hard. We came in here and won last year, and we got him at our place. But he came here and swept us. And I know he was feeling some heat. He's doing a hell of a job. Just like John Shire is doing a hell of a job following a legend. It'd be like following John Wooden. Would you want to do that? Gene Bartow lasted 2 years doing that. And then he went to UAB and started a program, okay? I think he lost 2 games too. I don't know, man. I just think we got a great product. We've had some Hall of Fame coaches retire. Two guys on Mount Rushmore. There's gonna be a little bit of that, but it can't be me, because it can't be Mike Young. So it's got to be some of these other guys that, you know, have accomplished a lot in this league. I'm just trying to get our program back to being competitive and respectful. And I think we're getting there, but we're not where I want to be. And so I'm disappointed, you know, in this game tonight, because again, and like Josh said, we had 2 opportunities at Miami, here tonight to win a quad 1 game. We didn't do it. We don't get quad 1 games at home. We're not the Big 12. Every game in the Big 12 is a quad 1. Don't ask me how, but it is. So we don't get that. So we got to go on the road. Last year we beat North Carolina at home by 22 points. They went to the national championship. That was a quad 2 win. Okay.
Coach, in kind of relation to that point you made just now, and what I asked Andrew about earlier, with those 2, you know, the past 2 quad 1 games, really good offense from your team, getting around 90 points, but it was the turnovers that kind of proved to be
Yeah, I mean, turnovers, we don't defend. I mean, we're not a great defensive team. I don't think that's any secret. And that's why we're not an NCAA tournament team right now. Because to win in the NCAA tournament and go to the tournament, you got to do both. You got to score and you got to defend. And we're as good offensive team as there is in the league. Ain't no doubt about that. But you got to do other things. Can't turn it over, especially if you're not great defensively. You better not turn it over. And we hadn't been doing that. Last time we played these guys, I think we had 5. Right? But, you know, now we're turning it over. It's not a good time to be doing that. And we got to be tougher defensively. It wasn't just DJ Brooks. Those guys are driving our guards to the basket. Come on now. Guard the ball. 101, basketball.
Steve, you talked earlier this week about the importance of being honest with your team about the road ahead and what they needed to do. How do you kind of keep them together down the stretch around the 3 games? So now it looks like you need to win the ACC tournament to really get.
Because I'm going to be the same coach tomorrow that I was yesterday and on June 14th. And they know I'm not playing. I'm coming with it. And so they're going to come with it, or they're going to be miserable, or they're going to move, or they're not going to play. I don't worry about that, because Ty and Davian are great leaders of the team. They have good spirit, guys. If they didn't have good spirit, they would have got blown out at Miami. They got blown out here tonight. I know the score kind of got up there a little bit at the end, but I mean, we faced some adversity. We kept it there. I'm not worried about that. They know. I talked to them. We got to win these next couple at home. We got to go to Syracuse. Could have 21 wins. Then we go play in the tournament, see what happens. You got to play for the best seed in the tournament that you can get. I mean, that's the key right now. And I told them that right after the game. I mean, you got to be honest right now. I mean, can't be painting a picture that ain't real.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, guys.
Thanks.